EU? More like best region in the world after...
More like they're called LEC now, so shut up. But
Oh, you mean LS?
we're
Hello, mammals who exist on this planet.
You can't stop doing that, kid.
EU. Alright, I got the matches up. Oh, here I'm there.
Right there. Okay, so we're just going to go quick. This is going to be the week 4, day 2
He's
games.
tired.
I'm tired, yes. I woke up early. So we're going to go, first game of the day is going to be Origin versus Schalke.
So let's just do it like kind of to make it quicker too. Say who you think is gonna win, and you can just give a reason.
I'm going to give a few reasons.
Okay, I mean a few. So who you think is gonna win out of Schalke?
Well, I'll just give my few reasons and then say the team.
That's boring.
Well, that's not boring. I want to say, again, I think that Origin's biggest problem is that their laners themselves are weak. Again, bot lane. Mithy has been really underperforming this year. It's kind of brought down the level that Patrick can play at. I think that the strongest point in this team is going to be what's his name?
Oh, Nuke Duck.
Nuke Duck. Nuke Duck has been absolutely the strongest player on this team, and I think it's undebatable at this point.
Cold and Nuke Duck need to somehow carry the game.
Because they are the two strongest players of this team. Because
Alfari's
just. I mean, honestly, he was expected to be a top 3 top laner again, and he's just not been at that level. I think he's better than Visachachi and all the other bottom tier top laners.
He's not even better than Soaz right now.
Soaz is playing really well, so that's not really much of an insult. But, I mean, Alfari's not been playing really well. I think that Cold's been playing pretty decent when he gets picks that I'm assuming he's comfortable on, because he's looked pretty off a few days, but for the most part, I think Cold's playing really well. I think that Nuke Duck's still one of the best mid laners in the league. But the bot lane, again, Patrick, I think he's fine, but Mithy is just such a weak laner that I think it's just holding him back. So I'm going to say that Schalke all around, upset Ignar, I think is the best spot lane in EU.
They also have the best jungler in the league right now at the moment in Memento.
I mean, I think
maybe second best, tied for first best jungler in the league.
I think that it's upset Ignar, best bot lane in the league.
They got best jungler. They have one of the best top laners at the moment.
Yeah, Odomamne is in top 2 for top laners. I'd put him up there, top 2 or 3. He's up there with Wonder and Kamashard right now. I think that, if I'm gonna say that the weakest point of this team is obviously gonna be the mid lane. Abadage has not been terrible though. I still think he's one of the better new imports to the league.
I think he's the best new one to come in.
I think it's between him and Humanoid. I think Humanoid's had a few.
Good.
Humanoid's better than Nemesis.
That's not saying much.
Nemesis is still not that bad. I don't think any of them are that bad. I just think that.
We haven't seen them in a competent league at the moment.
So, all around, I think that Schalke pretty much stomps this because they're, again, if they don't win the early game, which is kind of surprising because they have way better laners everywhere, their late game is also better because Upset is one of the best late game ADCs in the league. And Odoamne is just a better player all around than Alfari right now. And Memento, again, I think
head and shoulders outperforming Cold.
Yeah, so all around, Schalke should not lose this.
Not even close. There's no way Schalke loses this.
Yeah. Game 2 is going to be SK Gaming versus Rogue. This is kind of a toss-up for me, to be honest. I think I think that SK Gaming's early aggressive style is going to work well against a lot of these teams, but Rogue is just genuinely, their laners are weak, but they're a smart team. I think that Kikis has been leading them in a decent direction. I just think they haven't been able to pull it together against what I would say is kind of a tough few weeks in a row because they're just facing better competition. But I think that SK Gaming is another team that is not going to take advantage of this because SK Gaming's bot lane, I had a lot of hope for Crownshot because I saw a few of his games and I thought he was pretty decent, but Crownshot and Dreams have been really underperforming these past few weeks.
SK Gaming have been. They've been slumping since week 1. I'd say day one.
I would not say day 1. No, they did well both. Yeah, I think they did fine until halfway through week 2.
I think but this is fine for them. I think that they need to go into this match and just what would you say? Practice trying something because they haven't looked that good, but they really don't have such impressive laners to the point where it makes a massive difference on the actual game. But besides Selfmade, that's pretty much it. I'm thinking SK wins this.
I'm really kind of happy. Selfmade is an absolute... He is so good on this team. you can't really be upset about this team. Like, Self-Made is a very good find for the EUC, and I think that this team has just been pretty much. I think that Pyrion's playing fine. I think that again, Self-Made is one of the best junglers in the league. Warleb has been pretty solid, which is kind of surprising considering how bad he was in the past. So, like, there's again, you could say a lot of bad things about this SK Gaming, like they're inconsistent and all these things, but you can't deny the fact that they're really aggressive early game. And
I think they have a better coach. I think that Cheapy is a better coach than Freddy.
I mean, he's been in the league, yeah. I mean, he's been in the league a little bit longer. I didn't like him on Unicorns of Love.
I like him on Unicorns of Love, but I think that the overall style he's bringing to SK is a better style than what Freddy's trying to bring to Rogue.
I think that Rogue looks a little bit better when they're not super far behind. And SK Gaming, although they are aggressive, do not really have insanely good laners. So, like, I think that, again, Self-Made has been out jungling a lot of these junglers, but Kikis is fine. I think that Kikis is genuinely a pretty decent jungler this year. So I think he's going to be competent enough. He's not going to out-jungle Self-Made, but he's definitely capable of making counter ganks. Or at the very least, kind of, if he goes bot, he goes to, like, just making other across the map plays.
So, on the map.
All around, I think that if he can kind of dissuade the jungle, like the jungle presence, they go even in lane everywhere else, except for Senex, I think loses to Pyrion. And, like, all around, I think that Rogue could actually win. It's really going to be definitive about the early game. If SK Gaming can put this team behind, they're going to win. But, like, if they can't, I do think Rogue comes out on top because, again, I'm not really too hyped on this bot lane. Pyrion is not incredibly better than Senex, but I do think he's slightly better. And then Prophet and Warlub, I think this is going to go pretty even for the most part. So, I don't want to say too much. I do not think they're incredible. I don't think that
Can Rogue get their first win, and will SK Gaming be the team?
I think this is gonna be the team. If they're gonna do it to anybody, they're gonna do it on. But SK Gaming is it's very likely that SK Gaming wins this because all around, I think that their style of play is just counteractive to Rogue's. On top of the fact that I just think they're kind of have more
all
of
the
a
players
team.
are just substantially performing better.
They're just. I don't think that. I think that more they have an identity as a team. Where so is I don't think Rogue has found theirs.
Rogue 0-18 the dream.
I think they're not going to get that. They're going to beat somebody.
Misfits versus Splice, because as you see right now, Gorilla is going to have its own stream, and so is Caps. Misfits versus Splice. Can Misfits bounce back from their 0-2 week they had?
They're definitely
Definitely not against Misfits.
Did you say Misfits going to bounce back against
No.
Misfits?
Splice are not bouncing back yet. It's going to be until... Well, they play on Friday, right? Friday. Yeah, they're not bouncing back until Saturday, hopefully. Because Misfits look like they're coming in with a game plan. You saw Jezza's talking about how they didn't like to play that one style and how they went back to comfort and they just performed a lot better, and talking about what they needed to look better at as a team. You look at what Splice are trying. Like I said, Splice are like 100 Thieves in North America. They're trying this chess checker thing where you're trying to outdraft your opponent, outthink them. That's not working because their players aren't fast enough to play the style of the meta. The meta is early game aggression. I think Misfits are just playing that style. That Splice are playing. They're playing it with better players, and they're playing it a lot quicker. And Splice are just playing passive and trying to scale, and that's not the meta anymore. And we're seeing teams that try that are failing. And I think that once they catch on that it's not working, it'll be too late. But I think that Splice are just going to draft scaling. Misfits are guaranteed drafting early. That's what they drafted every single game they've been in the league right now. So,
I mean, I think that Kabe and Orskaren, I think they're a decent bot lane, but they're not to the level of Gorilla. Hansama. I'm not saying that. Gorilla Hansama.
He's not cool, guys.
I'm not. I'll agree with that. But Gorilla Hansama is one of the best bot lanes in the league. I think that it's kind of unfair that anybody else has to face them besides, like, some of the top tier bot lanes can face them, but Kabe and Orskaren, decent bot lane, but they're not gonna, like, this is the bright spot of this team in my opinion. This is the strongest point of it, and it's just not gonna be enough. It's not gonna be enough to bring this team back into relevancy. So I think that they just lose too hard around the map. I mean, Humanoid is not gonna be Fevin, even though I don't think Fevin's amazing this year. I think that he's still one of the better mid laners. Xerxes is, again, another strong point in this team, is not as good as Maxlor. Maxlor is one of the best, if not in the top 2 junglers right now. He's been playing absolutely out of his mind. And, like, he's been one of the hardest driving factors of the Misfits lineup. I don't even know, but there's been a lot of good things about Misfits. He's been helping out this team quite a bit. He's just like all around. I think that Xerxes is playing insanely well, and I think he's also another good jungler. But Maxlor's been just all around. I mean, honestly, I can't. Yeah, I don't know, because Xerxes is just functioning with a harder. I don't know if he's playing better or it's just looking better because
he's functioning better. He's trying to play smart.
I mean, Xerxes play like the thing about it is I don't know if Maxlor's looking better because he's on a better team and that like his situation like his. I don't think like it's hard to say that Xerxes playing worse because I don't know what he would look like on this team. Vizicachi, I think he's gonna get absolutely demolished by Soaz. Yeah, that's kind of surprising.
That's a day in the world where you're saying Soaz is smashing someone.
Soaz
with his big head.
Funny.
Bam.
Soaz is playing. Honestly, he's been playing like one of the best top laners in the EU right
now. Not MVP
like,
material. I mean, he's playing really good.
I mean, that's unfair to say. I mean, I think you didn't really have to include that part. He's been one of the best type of laners in the league, and Vizicachi's been one of the worst.
Maybe?
I do think he's definitely in the bottom half.
That's kind of sucks. Vizicachi was an MVP top player. That's crazy, isn't it?
Like, it's incredible. I think that Soaz is probably going to win this pretty hard. I think that Maxlor, honestly, better aggression early, on top of the fact he's more just... Yeah, again, I think he's making smarter choices around the map. He's knowing when to gank properly.
The team is just doing what Splice want to do, except they're just doing it better.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that. I think they have really two different identities as teams.
Yeah, I mean, Kabi Norskaren is the strongest point of the team besides Xerxes, and they're just not lane dominant. They're strong.
I think that, I mean, again, they showed they could be lane dominant against Vitality when they absolutely manhandled what I would say is probably the worst.
This is week 1, though. This is week 4 now.
I think they've been playing pretty okay. I still think that Kabi Norskaren is a strong bot.
Humanoid is not beating Febivin.
It's not happening. So all around, I mean, Slice loses this, and then Misfits knows what to do with their leads when they get it.
Like, yeah, they won every single lead they've gotten.
Yeah, like once they get the lead, it's over. I don't see them losing once they get that lead. And Splice is just not good at playing from behind, and they're not great at playing from ahead. So I don't know what to like. Splice, no, it's just the case. Even if they get to late game, they didn't know how to close the game out.
That's the thing. Vitality. The thing is late game, and they're never really been consistent at it.
Even if they get it to late game, like look what they did against Vitality, didn't close out the game, like. So they can get these leads.
Look at it against G2. It got to late game. They lost against G2.
Yeah, so Splice genuinely has good, strong points on this team. Vizicachi, when he doesn't fall behind, looks fine. Kabi Norskaren almost never fall behind.
But that's not...
But the problem...
What does that ever amount to? You never fall behind. That's great, but if you don't carry the game, then... like
that's what I'm saying. Like, they don't know what to do once, like, in any points of the game. They're just not decisive. And I think they're one of the worst teams in the league. Like, I think they're going to miss the playoffs. I think they're going to be... I think they're at the same level as SK Gaming as it stands.
That's sad.
It's not sad. I don't think SK Gaming's that bad. I just think that they're not playoff material either.
All we know is that Splice is losing this game. Maybe. Next game is this one, right? Yeah. Excel versus Vitality. I mean, how does Vitality lose to them?
Vitality is stupid. Like, we can give them that much. I think Vitality's a stupid team. And then, on top of the fact that Attila Jack Troll is genuinely not a strong bot lane. Like, in terms of laning phase.
But they are better than Jessica and Kassing.
In laning phase, I mean, that's a very stretch. I very big stretch. I don't know how... Their laning phase is absolutely bad. Like, I think they're going to lose to a lot. Like, pretty much... They're not going to lose to Jessica and Kassing in lane, but I could see them messing up and losing in lane.
I can see
but
that too.
The thing about it is, Attila is absolutely... If you get out of laning phase, he's incredible. But the problem is that K-Drill's playing like one of the best junglers in the league. I think he's playing quite a bit better than Mowgli right now.
But he's not playing so much better than Mowgli that it's a big enough gap to where it makes a big difference in favor toward Excel.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that, I mean...
Cavalshard has been smurfing for 3 weeks.
I think he's the best top laner, one of the best players in the league in general.
My MVP beside Caps. Thank you, Portuguese. You all love me for saying Cavalshard is good.
Cavalshard's
been hardcore smurfing, beating the living mess out of people for 3 weeks straight. I do not think he's just going to straight up lose to Expect. He's faced Expect before. I mean, he's better. He was better back then anyway. I think he was on a worse Vitality roster and it couldn't show it, but he's been playing substantially really well. And Jizuke against who? They have Exile?
Jizuke against Exile.
Oh, I mean, that's nothing.
So Jessica Kassing is not... I mean, it's a good... No, it's not good.
They're not that better than Kabi and Norskaren.
They're not better than anybody. I think they are one of the worst... But Kasing's been the driving factor of this team. If he gets behind, I don't really see this team because again, he's the engager. He's pretty much everything for this team. You set this team behind in that respect, they're gonna lose. I don't think like I don't see Attila Jackal doing it. But I actually no, I don't know about that. Attila Jackal is a good bot lane in terms of
weaker bot lanes.
Yeah, they're good at kind of snuffing out these like higher competition.
I think that Vitality's early game aggression will just overpower Excel.
I mean, even if they don't lose early, Cabochard is a good at every point in the game. So, Jukse is one of the best. Another way like Excel, even when he has those random spurts of he's extremely good, Jukse is still better than that.
Yeah,
he's not going to win.
He's not only that, he's consistent too.
The only thing that I think that Vitality doesn't have the edge in is the jungle. And it's not by a lot. I mean, I think that Keijo's playing out of his mind right now, but Mowgli's not been a pushover. So I think that Vitality pretty much stops this. I think that Attila Jackal is going to be the deciding factor. I think they're going to keep the laning phase ahead, but again, this could be really decided by a few Keijo ganks to bot, and this game could go the opposite way. But
V for victory!
Yeah, and then if he does that, if Keijo does actually start getting the ganks in bot lane, like Kasing is the shot caller, he's the deciding like later on in the stages of the game.
We saw that.
Yeah.
We saw that. It did not work.
I mean, it didn't work. I agree with that.
G2, XL were winning it worked against Misfits, but
I mean, the thing about it is they stalled out because of that though. Like the fact that they could even stall out G2, I think is incredibly better than them. Is kind of the driving point on. Hey, this team. There's kind of a scary point in this team because if they don't fall too far behind in bot lane, I think this team does fine. Stop being weird. So I think that it's gonna come off the back of Keijo kind of putting some pressure down bot.
It's gonna come off of Cabochard. If he completely comes in and just loses to expect, which
that is not gonna happen.
No pun intended.
I mean, Cabochard again. I think that he's gonna win this lane. I don't think it's really gonna be close, but we're gonna have to see where Keijo really generates this pressure for us to know what's gonna happen because I think he should go bot. I think that's gonna be again.
You know, but Vitality's jerseys say orange, and we're wearing orange.
Very funny.
I was making a similarity. V for victory on this one. Vitality are easily gonna clap these weird fools.
Good job.
All right, so we have the going into the split. Had Fnatic and G2. I had G2 first. He had Fnatic at like first two. This was supposed to be the best matchup of the West, beside Cloud9 TSM. You know, El Clasico right here for EU. This was probably the most sought-after match you could have thought of in the offseason if you're going to any major region. You think to yourself, Fnatic, 7 titles, G2, 4 titles, G2 MSI finals, Fnatic MSI, Fnatic Worlds, finalists, G2 semi-finalist of Worlds.
You're doing a lot of things with your hand.
You go into this match, you're thinking like, yeah, I'm gonna get this real big El Clasico matchup. They're gonna go back and forth. They have great laners now. EU is gonna make that match of the week, and I swear to you, every single time they're like match of the week, it's a stomp. I have never seen a good match of the week from them. Not only that, they're gonna hype it up as match of the week, and guess what it really is? It's a first place team versus a 9th place team, and then you know how that usually pans out. The first place team is going to stomp them. That's like saying in Korea, Griffin match of the week against Jin Air. Oh yeah, let's see how that pans out. That's exactly how this is gonna pan out.
You're really emotional right now.
Because I'm feeling the Fnatic pain right here in my heart.
In your heart.
See, that's gonna be match of the week, and we know that this is gonna be a stomp. There is at no point is Fnatic playing better than G2. I'll say it. You'll hear it from me right here first. If Fnatic give G2 their first loss, it is not because Fnatic is playing better. It's because G2 slumped and did not perform well.
Give them credit, man. We don't know. It's in the future. We can't know how.
I know the future.
You could not see a Fnatic bounce back. You could not see any of these things.
I mean, I think if they win, G2 underperform. Come on, let's be honest here. Fnatic is 9th place. G2 is first. One is undefeated. One is looking garbage since the first.
Okay, so you're saying Fnatic can't bounce.
So if Jin Air beat Griffin in LCKs, that means Griffin.
Okay, listen to me. What I'm asking you is
everyone on Griffin just randomly underperform.
Listen to me. So what I'm saying is, can Fnatic bounce back? Can they bounce back?
Not against G2.
Can they bounce back as a team?
After G2, yeah. Maybe.
Why is it against G2 they couldn't bounce back?
G2 has performed substantially better than Fnatic.
What I'm saying is,
if Fnatic, this is 4 weeks in a row. We've seen a lot of these teams.
What I'm saying is, if Fnatic does bounce back, why can't this be a bounce back week? Why can
who do they face the other day?
I'm not
this
saying
is day 2,
that.
Right? Who do they face the other day?
It's not about the other day. Are you talking about this week?
This is at most Excel.
So I think what I'm saying is, I honestly, I don't think Fnatic has any chance. But saying preemptively that they can't win because the only way they can, again, this is too early in the year.
I don't know. See, okay, we have to run down the lanes. Who for them is going to... Whipple's overextending. Brox is doing nothing. Their mid laner is doing nothing. Their bot lane is feeding. Okay, G2's players are just playing substantially better.
Okay, the problem with it is that this is not the capability of these players. The reason as to why I said they can bounce back is because of the fact that, we know that Reckless Hylissang is better than this. They are not playing to the standard that they played last year. I'm sorry, this is not as good as they should be. If you say that this is just them being bad, well, the reality of it is...
Well, no, they're playing bad right now because they're not just bad. It's just they're just not playing good right now. Right now, they are bad.
They are bad right now, I agree, but this is not... We've seen them play better. We know they're capable of more. So we can't say that they're incapable of bouncing back because we know that this is not the best this team has to offer. The reason is, I don't think Fnatic is incredible. I think that they're the second worst team in the league, and that's just the case right now. But another thing is that Fnatic also, on top of the fact, is just... they are not showing us what they're capable of. I do think G2 is going to stop this pretty handily, but I'm not going to preemptively say that G2 can only win... Fnatic can only win off of a slump because, again, a Reckless Hylissang, if they're on form, I think they're fine. They're not going to lose against Perks unless he's on a mage, honestly. I don't think they're going to lose against his Lucian.
I think that... Fnatic have been drafting losing lanes every single game. G2's been drafting to play early, and if they've been drafting also, if they don't win early, they have enough room in the comp to scale. Then you have to go with Whipple has just been getting completely destroyed. Broxa's style of jungling only works when he has better laners. Nemesis, 1 week this is a coin flip.
I don't think Nemesis is a coin flip. I still think he's one of the best players on this team.
But he's not. He doesn't generate pressure. Caps generates pressure.
Caps is just all around a better player, though. That's unfair to compare.
They have no one to generate pressure around because not only are they all losing, they're losing in draft too.
Nemesis isn't really losing is the problem. I think Nemesis is doing fine. I think the big problem is Reckless Hylissang should be the driving factor.
Reckless Hylissang couldn't even be upset and Ignar.
Yeah, what?
Reckless and Hylissang couldn't even be Ignar and upset.
Well, that's the best bot lane in EU.
But Reckless and Hylissang should be able to beat them. But they couldn't even beat...
I don't think so. I think that Reckless Hylissang, coming into the season, I said they were better. I expected them to be better.
Oh, yeah, you did say that.
I did. That was at the beginning of the year. If anybody actually watched Upset play last year, he looked like coming in... He was going to be the best ADC.
But it was the Ignar thing. Hylissang played better than Ignar last year.
Well, Ignar, again, I still think there's too many problems in BBQ. Engaging support is going to look terrible on a terrible team. You cannot look good as an engaging support.
We haven't seen enough from Fnatic to say that they can do well against. Realistically, we have to call out for what it is. Like you always say, this is a first place team against a ninth place team.
I agree with that, but again, I also don't want to be preemptive and say they can only win off a slump.
See, that's the thing. Even the game against Rogue, that didn't look clean either.
It didn't. I'm not saying that Fnatic
were they good by beating Rogue? That was still a slump.
What are you even questioning? All I'm saying is I do agree that they're going to lose, but you can't go into the game beforehand and say Fnatic can only win because again we have not seen the capabilities of Fnatic. Fnatic is very much better than what they're playing like.
They are, but I just think if G2 did lose right now, it'd only be because Fnatic.
I'm just saying G2 slump. We could easily see. It's only week 4 of the very first split.
They will play again.
Yeah, I think that this could be a bounce back at the beginning of the year. It's possible. I don't want I think that I don't want to write off Fnatic yet. I don't want to do that.
It feels so bad if you do that, though.
I just think it's too early in the season. It's just it's week 4, first split. I can see them bouncing back, and I don't want to write off. I'm not gonna say before I see the game that they only won off a slump because I haven't seen the game yet. But the situation is Fnatic is almost completely gonna lose this game. It's gonna happen. If G2 looks like one of the best teams in the West, and Fnatic looks like a terrible team, so. I think Fnatic loses every lane. If they come into the week playing like they played last week, they lose this game again. Like it's just gonna they lose every single lane. If they play there's just nothing they can do. Like Fnatic, I would like to see them come back to form. I think
they generate no pressure. Broxa gets beaten now. Whippo overextends and their bot lane falls behind. It falls behind and falls apart.
Like Nemesis,
and if Reckless gets gamed too much, his mentality dies.
Mm-hmm. I just think that you need this bot lane to succeed because they are actually 100% the shot callers.
Reckless is most likely, yeah.
Yeah, Reckless Hillsang are going to be they're the most veteran players on this team. They should be the deciding factor of this team, but they've been the biggest problems.
I don't know. Whipple's been a really big problem.
It's a very big toss up between them, but again, I think that they've been one of the biggest problems with this this team is going to be these side lanes.
I think at most they're going to go 1-1 for this week of the LEC.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'm almost certain they're going to lose to G2, but I just want to throw it out there. I really hope. I know they're capable of at least putting up a fight on a good day.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Realistically, guys, don't believe those match of the week teasers from EU. They're really always.
This should not be the match of the week. Should probably. Let's see who's
for this one.
It's the week match of the week.
Match of the week. I would put Misfits versus Schalke.
Misfits versus Schalke
or G2 versus Vitality.
No, I would say Misfits versus Schalke because I think that G2 is substantially better than Vitality. I think this is going to be the deciding factor in who's second place.
Yeah.
So I think that Misfits versus Schalke is going to be the match of the week. I don't think there's
the next day. I don't think you have a match of the day.
I mean. Here. The most interesting one is going to be Origin versus Schalke.
I would say Fnatic and G2 is interesting, but we know how that's going to pan out.
It's really not interesting. I mean, again, Fnatic is just going to get stomped. But
their team,
they just don't have
them. It's just worse than Splice.
It's like they don't have a decisive. They don't have a what's it called?
A decisive shot caller. They don't have a style or a shot caller, or
they have weak lane. Yeah, they have weak lanes. They don't have a good style. And saying that, they'd still 100% stomped Golden Guardians, so it's okay.
They would they? I don't know.
I can't say that. I really think they might not stomp.
Hashtag G2 Army.
All right, so pretty much,
I'm the representative of G2 around here. What if I just ripped up a G2 jersey?
Don't know.
What if I just tore off all my shirts?
I really have to be in that situation to be able to tell you. But again, I was really tired today, so I'm sorry if this came out a little bit sloppy. If you have any other ideas as to what I did wrong, then don't leave them in the comments because I'm not going to read it.
I'm always going to win. That's how it happens. Yeah, right. First place versus 9th place team. Make sure you guys hit the notification bell, like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.
See you later.